Watching Popular Cruisin', and our exclusive interview with Senior Vice President of Walt Disney Imagineering, Joe Lanzisero, about the Disney Magic Refurb.
What can you tell us about the reimagining of the Disney Magic, and is there anything else you can add?
It's such a precious thing, this ship. And precious in that it was the first Disney cruise ship where we introduced so many things. So when it came time to think about how we address the different areas of the ships and which ones do we touch, which ones do we leave the same, it was really tough, especially for those of us. You know, I worked on the original ships too. You know, so there was a lot of emotional connection to it, and I think our guests become very emotionally connected to our product. And so I almost in my own mind said, well, what would it be like if I had to reimagine Disneyland? I mean, I would never touch the cast. I mean, and Walt was so great. What a model he was to us, because he was not. He would go in and rip something out and change it and put something else in. But I think he was always aware of those key elements. So for me, that was kind of the big challenge of the assignment, was to make sure we just made it look great, but kept the essence of what people love.
So, are there any things you wanted to add or upgrade on board, but couldn't because of the ship's size or the age?
Just about everything was a challenge because of it's been out on the ocean for a while. Size really wasn't an issue, especially now that they're widening the Panama Canal, and we are doing some things to the hull to add more stability and such that is going to change the profile of the ship. But we were very, very sensitive to maintaining kind of the lines of our ships, which we think are very special to our ships. I mean, our ships stand out because we are so sensitive to how all the profile works. But you know what? We usually, when we come up with things that are challenging, we have the smartest, most talented people in the world available to us, like adding the aqueduct, the new slide, which the ship was not engineered to put a very heavy slide with water up there, but they figured out how to do it.
By the way, who comes up with all the fun names? Aqueduct.
We got a lot of crazy people. I got to give credit to, not that he came up with the name Aqueduct, but to Kevin Rafferty. Okay. He's like our ace, the nomenclature guy. I'll give Kevin a call and say, hey, Kevin, we're doing this thing. Well, he came up with the Aqueduct. Okay. And he'll come back with 19 or 20 different names. It's like, oh, they're all good, Kevin.
Exactly. How do you pick, right? Yeah. So in regards to Marvel's Avengers Academy, we're standing in front of the display here. Are Iron Man's suit, Captain America's shield, and Thor's hammer props from the movies, or are they recreations?
Some are recreations, some are props. In every case, it's all been sanctioned by or worked with the actual Marvel art directors and designers, just like we've done over the years with Pixar, what we're doing with Lucasfilm now. And that's what's great. For me, that's so exciting. I mean, I like the art director from the Iron Man 3 film I'm working with on some of this stuff.
Very
so that's
cool,
really cool.
Yeah. So what kind of interactivity can we expect with the props?
The room is very, very smart. It's all the lighting, all the audio is controllable by the cast member, by our crew members there, on an iPad or another like device. So each of the different props and each of the different spaces in there, they'll be able to program to work with the larger activities that they do there. I always say the difference between the theme park and the cruise ship, the theme park, the experience has to work by itself as the experience, which means everything has to be accounted for. On the cruise ship, my job really is just to kind of create the hardware or the framework, and then the programming is what ignites the experience. Right. So we provide them with all these tools, lighting, audio, special effects, and then with the programmers, they come up with great stories and great activities for the kids.
Cool. And what kind of activities can we expect?
There's going to be a great multi-day program that allows kids to become members of S.H.I.E.L.D. and to find the superhero in themselves, which is great. It's very reaffirming. Kids kind of find out, what their attributes are, and then they kind of assign the superhero that has like attributes, and then hopefully by the end of the week, they become a superhero themselves.
Awesome. And as far as the adults-only area, you described After Hours as an experience of the nightlife of New York and Las Vegas. Are we going to see any video effects similar to what we have on Skyline on the Dream and the Fantasy at all?
That was the original plan, but actually I'm going to contradict something what I said earlier about we ran out of space.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
You know, I mean, that was a limited area. And again, like I said earlier, we had to make choices about what we felt were the right things to do there. And a lot of what you have to do on the ship, because real estate is so precious, it's about form following function. So, you know, what is the function of that space? Entertainment space, or a bar space, or a food space, and then you have to work from there. But having said that, we're still doing some really cool lighting effects, because all the technology now that we have with RGB lighting and great new audio and all this, so it'll be cutting edge in terms of the audio and lighting.
Awesome. Are there any updates to the Walt Disney Theater, or any new productions in the works?
There are, but I can't talk about them right now.
No worries. Thinking now towards the stateroom upgrades, will there be any magical portholes or enchanted art added?
Not currently, but maybe in the future. That also gets back to that question about the space available, because when we made the decision to do those on the new build, it took a certain amount of meters out of the room. You know, we're very sensitive to the experience that we're providing for our guests, so we had to make that decision of what was more important: the amount of room in the cabin, or taking room to do something like the enchanted portholes.
So the new Senses Spa and Cabanas Buffet we know are being updated. And what areas of the ship are those being expanded to?
That's all on Deck 9, which is probably getting the biggest makeovers. You know, we're completely redoing cabanas, literally starting over, which will have a look more like what we have on the Fantasy. And the whole service is going to be changed. Right now it's just a straight buffet line. We're going to change it to the scramble service that we have on the Dream of Fantasy, which is very, very popular with the guests. The spa, we're actually taking over what was some back-of-house space and some deck space to expand it to make room for, we're going to add the teeth whitening, we're going to add a barber shop, we're going to add a youth spa. So quite a bit of change there. And then all the other upper deck changes with the addition of the Aquadunk, the Twist and Spout slide, the whole Aqualab. It's going to be, the whole upper deck's going to be completely reimagined.
And I also noticed in the specs that the ship is going to be 20 feet longer when it comes out. Is that because it's getting an interceptor on the stern?
As ships age, they gain weight, like any of us do. Plus all the new things we're adding on the ship. So we are adding some stabilizers on the back. Plus we're adding some new safety features. Post, a lot of the industry has kind of raised safety as a very big issue because of some of the other cruise lines and their mishaps. So Disney, we always want to be on the forefront of having the safest ships possible. So we're doing some safety changes to the ships.
And how long will the September dry dock take?
God help us, 5 weeks.
Wow, that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, 5 weeks. But you know, right back, I was just on the phone the other day. We're going to have 700 containers arriving both by sea and by train and by truck. Wow. And it's like a military operation. The logistics involved, because you got to know where the container goes, what comes off, what goes on, what space goes first. It's really an amazing logistical challenge.
Yeah, and will you get the chance to oversee that personally?
I'll be there.
Nice.
I'll be there.
Nice. And just to wrap up, I know this is almost like asking you to pick a favorite child, but what's your favorite feature that you're looking forward to seeing implemented?
You know, I love thrill rides, and the slides are always fun. I love working on the aqueduct. The slides might be fun, but you know, I love it. It's exactly like, it's like asking someone with their favorite kid. There's something about each of the things that we're doing that I find really attractive.
Yeah, and in the end, it's all about telling new stories, right?
That's right.
That's what Disney's all about.
That's what we're all
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Well, Joe, I appreciate the time.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you.